This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 317. We're finally up to the third part of the franchise. We're up to Men in Black 3 from 2012. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, so how long has it been since you've seen this film?
2012. I saw this at the theater, and then I bought the Blu-ray Steelbook. I never watched it, and then I sold that Steelbook a couple years ago when I bought the 4K, and then I just watched the 4K. So it had been 11 years since I watched it, and then I watched it today. So it was only my second time seeing it.
Yeah, for myself, this is the second time also. Actually, I don't even remember it.
I remembered like vaguely like Josh Brolin, but there was a lot of stuff when I was watching it that I didn't remember at all. So,
well, I'll tell you this. Let's get into some financials because, I'm about to say, you're going to go, no way. Okay. Men in Black 3, I gotta say, might be the most successful one in the franchise. And I know your face right now because you're shocked. Here we go.
Yeah.
Men in Black 3 from 2012. Budget at $225.
Oof. Okay.
You know what's crazy though? It doesn't look like it. I mean,
some parts do and some parts don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess they used it wisely. The money. Worldwide total of $654 million.
I mean,
it's the most out of the franchise.
I'm surprised it made that much. I don't remember it being I don't remember it making that much, honestly. I don't think it was a flop, but I don't remember it making 600 million either.
Yeah, 654. Men in Black 2 was 445. All right. And then Men in Black 1 was 589.
So this was the most, technically. Yep. Well, let's go to some Rotten Tomato scores because these numbers are pretty good. You got to remember, we just did Men in Black 2, which was in the dumps as far as the scores were horrible. This is an increase on both. This one has a 67% from the critics. That is a 29% increase from the last movie. So it's up 29%. And the audience score for this one is a 70, which is 25%. Wow. Yeah, 25% higher. So both of those was in the 30s and the 40s for part 2. And this one's 67 and 70. So pretty close as far as critics and audiences kind of saw the same thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's shock watching this movie. I kind of see those scores. And I kind of knew the audience score was going to be higher for some reason.
I mean, it could not be worse. 2 stunk. I don't remember it being that bad. I remember not liking it, but I don't remember it. The more I think about it, that movie sucks.
I said the same thing watching 3. I was like, oh man, this makes 2 like one of the worst movies in the franchise.
Yes, 2 makes 3 look like 1.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, I totally agree on that one. All right, let's get right into it. Lead character, Will Smith, Josh Brolin as K, a young K, and then, of course, Tommy Lee Jones.
I'll be honest, this was good. I liked them in this one. I liked them. I'm going to tell you why. For the first time, compared to the first movie, they got some backstory. Both of them. You get Jay's thing with his dad. He makes that joke. I did laugh at that joke where he was like, I played catch with my dad, but when I threw the ball, no one threw it back because he wasn't around. I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a sad joke, but it was funny. But yeah, you see why, and you kind of see why Kay eventually recruited him because he knew he had that, that thing that happened that Jay didn't remember because he got blasted with the neuralizer. I like that. I like the stuff with K and with O, that they had something. And now here's what I will tell you right now. They don't really say what happened in between because in that stupid new international one, spoiler alert, these characters are not in it. So you're never going to know.
That.
Yeah, you're never going to know what happened because he was kind of like more happier when he was younger. I like Josh Brolin as K. He does a really good Tommy Lee Jones impression, honestly. Mm-hmm. He's a little more cheerful, but he got the voice down. He got like the speech pattern, everything. For me, this was as good as the first one as far as the lead characters go. I thought their banter I thought Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones in the beginning, classic, but him and Josh Brolin had way better chemistry than I even remembered them having. So I really liked it. I actually give it a 5. I thought they were really good in this. I was gonna give it a 4, but then at the end, that little sprinkle, they just gave you that little backstory sprinkle. And I was like, you know what? This is the first time they've given me anything for Jay. So I like that. And last thing, hilarious. I love all his speeches after he neuralizes people. Every single one of them was funny. The airplane one was funny. There was another one. The second one.
The goldfish?
The goldfish. Yeah, they were funny. So I like those two. So yeah, 5 for me. I thought they were great.
Yeah, I agree. I gave it a 5 myself. I was like, wait a minute. First of all, the characters, they They wrote them way better in this movie. I liked them a lot. I love I guess it's not bantering. I felt like I love in the beginning how Tommy Lee Jones was like trying to like push him away a bit. I felt like Will Smith's character was getting more serious.
Yeah.
Like they wrote him like he was a clown, but they started to give him more of a realism to the character. And I liked that a lot. I was like, you know what? I kind of like Jay, this version of Jay, way
older.
better. Yeah, older. So he was more mature. And I kind of like that. And I love what he was like, what are you feeling for? He was like, I think we should sit down and have some pie. He's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's waste some time eating pie. And then when the whole thing came together, he was like, you see what happened? Good things happen when you eat pie.
Yeah, that was funny. That's true.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like, and I didn't know that restaurant in New York. My wife said it's real.
Oh.
It's just they don't have the real USO. So the next time you come here, we could go to that diner and eat where
the Men in Black diner.
order apple pies.
That'll be sick.
Oh yeah, order apple pies and one slice of cheddar. Because that's what that's so nasty. No, but I think I like all that. I love Josh Brolin as K. I laughed so much because he was really good. Tommy Lee Jones was good, but you can see he was older. But I like the way they did it. Yeah, everything worked out so well. So I gave it a 5 also. Okay, main villain.
Boris. Well, Boris the animal, he says it's just Boris. So you got Jermaine Clement, an actor I like. He was in a HBO show called Flight of the Conchords, if you're familiar with that. He's been in a bunch of movies, Dinner for Schmucks, and he was in the new Avatar movie most recently. He's one of those guys, and he's usually like a funny guy. I thought he was okay. I did not like him as much as the Bug from the first one. I liked him way better than Laura Flynn Boyle from the second one, Serlina.
Okay.
But I did like him. I thought he was good. He was formidable. I love that the movie starts with introducing him. Like the first scene is him escaping. He's gross. He has that nasty hand where the
that's
bugs can
creep
crawl.
me out.
It's so gross. It looks nasty. He has a cool look. My only issue with him is like, again, well, we're not going to get the storyline just yet, but just him, it is still kind of the similar, an alien that needs to get a thing so they can destroy Earth or whatever. So their villain storyline in all 3 movies is kind of the same, but at least this villain was funny. It was funny when he was like met both of himself when he was like older. He was like, I will kill you if I didn't want to like live, because I'll die if I kill you, because he doesn't like his younger version of himself. I thought he was good. I would still give the edge, what's his name, Edgar or whatever from the first one, but this guy was good. I gave him a 4. I liked him as a villain.
I agree with you. I gave him a 4 too. I felt he was more cartoony.
Yeah.
The villain. And while Edgar the Bug, he was more like serious. Well, he was like that. It felt in that world. But this one felt a little cartoony for me. But you're right. I like his design a lot. And the one scene that I laughed so hard is when he's riding in Coney Island and he has the motorcycle. Yeah, and the guy was like, love and peace and war, man. And he goes, I like war and peace. And then the guy was laughing. He went, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, that was so freaking
That was hilarious. that gave me a chuckle.
That made me chuckle. I thought he was one of the best villains. I think in terms of fighting these guys, I think he was way better than the Bug guy. Because the Bug guy, all he did was slap on Jay, but this dude had like that thing that spits out like little pine, whatever the hell it is. Spikes. I liked it. I was like, you know what? Design was cool. I love the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the movie, I think, is the best one out of all 3. Like the way he escapes out of and I didn't even know it was in Mars. I thought that was really creative.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. But yeah, other than that, I gave him a 4 too because of the cartooniness. I was like, I wasn't feeling that. But all right, action scenes.
Okay, so this series, there's action in it, but it's not like, there's not a ton. This one actually probably has the most action out of the 3 movies. You get a number of chase scenes, and I like that they did some different stuff. One, even in the beginning, Kay, they're shooting all the guys at the Chinese place. They're just like bursting into slime. It's like a little shootout. That was fun. I like the motorcycles that are just like one wheel, whatever. The one wheel, the chase scene. There are moments, some of this. Okay, so when you were talking about the budget, most of the CGI is actually good. I'll be honest. Most of it's good. There are a couple scenes, like I watched this in 4K too, so it was very clear. And when this guy jumps off the building, when Will Smith jumps off the building, and they just CGI him going like, It looks so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, it looks terrible. But it's a cool concept. The time jump, like you actually have to jump off of something. So I thought the action scenes were fun. I thought they were good. I thought they looked good. It's never going to get a 5 for me. Not these movies. Like they're just not those kind of action movies. But I gave it a 4. I thought it was actually good. And there was more of it than in part 2 or even part 1.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 also. I think it is the better action than all 3 of them. I thought it was the better action. I like the actions. They all made sense for this story. And it was fun action. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like corny that they had to throw it in there. Like, it all made sense. Like, I love the Chinese restaurant because it felt like a real action movie just with laser guns. And I love when they both was talking and it was like, I have your right or your whatever. And they actually, for the first time, you see them work together as a team. So I thought that was really cool. And I like that a lot. I like Jay getting slapped around with the fish. And I mean, that's classic.
That's
Will Smith's character
Black right there. Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool. But I did like the chase scene through New York with the motorcycle and them and their motorcycle. I love that they showed Shea Stadium. So I thought that part was like pretty cool. The chase started from there. But yeah, and then the ending fight to me felt kind of because they were trying to get to that dramatic part of the story.
Yeah.
So like for me, the action there lacked the luster, but for story, I'll talk about that there. But the ending was okay. It wasn't like over the top. I thought it was perfect for that scene setup to the ending. So with that, I gave it a 4. I mean, I could have gave it a 5 if it was more of them going to hunt down Boris and they're shooting up places of aliens. I would like, okay, that's pretty cool. But I give it a 4. I thought it was great.
Way better than 2. Again.
Storyline.
All right. So I like the storyline in this. I think the script is good. I don't think it's as good as 1, obviously. But what I am glad about is that most of the humor works in this movie. Like, these movies got to have that level of humor, you know? Yeah. They are sci-fi, funny. They're kind of like 50s B-movie sci-fi type stuff in modern times. And this script does it way better than the last one. Like I said, every time that... Oh, I also love when he goes back in time and he goes to like the Men in Black headquarters there and they're going to neuralize him and it's that giant like... It's like a big thing. They put him in it. They do the countdown. It's like 14, 13, 12. He's just laying there like, what? Why is this so long? And he just has the little one. Oh, and when he has the battery pack one and he's like charging it up, he's like, oh my God, forget it. Just let's get out of here. Like all that work. I thought Brolin was funny. The Andy Warhol part cracks me up every time that Andy Warhol just wants to like, he doesn't want to do it anymore. Yeah, I thought it was very clever. I'd put it just a notch below part 1, but I gave it a 4. And you know what? I like the way they use time travel because they didn't do it like where it's too much, you know, like he went back in time to kill K so that he could blow up the Earth. Easy. Jay goes back to stop it. They didn't go too much into it. It's a little machine. Put the thing, you could go back to then. So I liked it and I thought it was good and I gave it a 4.
Yeah. So I gave it a 4 also. I liked the storyline a lot. I did not know how I was going to act with this one, like in terms of how I'm going to sit down and enjoy it, but I totally dig this movie because of the storyline. I had so much fun. This should have been part 2 somewhere, somehow. I think this should have been the sequel. I liked it a lot. Like I said, I love the time travel. Like I'm not big on time travel movie because they always go this far-fetched way of whatever. Yeah. But I agree with you in the sense that it was easy for them to go back in time. I thought it was fun. It was a cute way of doing it. And I love that he didn't lose it. Yeah. Like he didn't lose the stupid thing and now he's on the hunt for the stupid thing and he's stuck there. He had it with him the whole time. Like I like that. Other than that, like I love the interactions with the older characters. I wish he met the young pub Frank.
Remember he had the painting in his apartment?
Yeah, I think he died, the actor or something like that.
Yeah, he had like a big pug behind him.
Yeah, I wish they had like a mini pug, like when he was a puppy. But I saw like there was a part in Coney Island. They said Frank the talking dog.
Oh, so it was like a little.
You didn't see it?
No,
it was like a circus, like a freak show.
Yeah.
And in the photo, it was the Frank. It says Frank the talking dog next to it.
That's a cute little Easter egg.
Yeah, it was like an Easter egg. So like that, I guess that's where you get to see them. But I thought that was pretty cute. But I kind of liked it. I really liked this movie a lot. I thought it was really cool, and I love the ending. I think that's where for me worked, like how they figured out a way to tie Will Smith to Tommy Lee Jones, like why he cares for him a lot. So I thought that worked out. So 4-4 overall.
I mean, color me surprised that this movie's good. I like this movie. I think it's fun. I think it mostly has the Men in Black spirit from the first movie. This movie, I 1,000,000% agree with you. If 2 didn't exist and you just watched 1 and then this, this, you're fine. And really, nothing that happens in part 2 plays any effect in this one. You can literally watch part 1 and then watch this one, and now they've been partners for 15 years, and Zed is dead. Oh, the funeral part was funny, too, the speech. He never told me anything about his life. He never told me anything about him. Jay is like, oh, here it comes. He's going to really... He's like, thank you. That crap was so funny.
Yeah.
Like, this movie feels like Men in Black, and in a good way. In a really good way. Yeah. I like it. I think it's good. I don't remember I think I liked it more now than when I watched it at the theater. But I must have liked it at the theater because I did buy it when it came out, and I never bought part 2 before. So maybe I just forgot. It has been 11 years. So, but I liked it. I gave it a 4. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, for me, I gave it a 4. I really like this movie. Like I told my wife, I was like, man, I got to buy it in 4K, but I know they don't sell them separate. It's like they all in the unit, right?
Yeah.
You gotta buy the pack.
They only have part 1 in 4K by itself.
Yeah, that one I got because one of our patrons, Scott, sent me the link and I purchased the Dolby Vision version of it. But I gotta get my hands on that solo 4K.
Currently, it's like Predator.
I really like the storyline. It is really good. It is a fun story. Like you said, it was the spirit of Men in Black, but I think enhanced better. Like the director really did. I finally went back to his roots because part 2 was just, I guess because it was a commercial success, I felt like they wanted to go and wild and it did not work for them. And he went back to the drawing boards and I was so happy. The music was awesome. The music was really good in this one.
Yep.
So I think as an overall package, I kind of dig this one a lot. So what's your total points?
21 out of a 25. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I did not think it was going to be that high, but when I added them up, it's a 21. This movie's really good. It's like part 1 is classic. I would never say this is a classic, but it's a darn good sequel, for a movie. So I 21 out of 25.
Yeah, I have the same score as you. I have a 21 out of a 25. I think this is a fantastic movie. Most likely I will buy the 3-pack just to have this in 4K. And I will watch this more. I could watch this again. This is really fun.
In 4K too.
The digital look superb in digital 4K because I own the Blu-ray, so I guess I got the free upgrade when it came out. So it looked amazing on digital. But I recommend this for anyone out there. It's way better than part 2. I have not seen part 4 until next week. That's going to be hilarious.
It's way better than part 4. I'll tell you right now.
I most likely
way better than part 4.
All right, Nate, what's coming up next?
Well, coming up next is part 4. No, next episode is going to be our conclusion of our Michael Bayham Michael Bay month. Ambulance from 2022, just last year, a very recent movie. And then we will wrap up Men in Black franchise next week with Men in Black International. I almost didn't schedule this movie, but the way the calendar worked out, I had to fill up a certain amount of dates. And so I was like, you know what? We're going to do it. But I was just going to stop at 3 and say this is like an extra. But I'm pretty sure that O is in it. Emma Thompson. I think she's in it. So she carries on from the last movie. But we're going to wrap it up with that one. So there you go. That'll be coming up.
All right, guys. You guys want to follow us on our social media accounts? Please follow Nate over on Instagram. He goes live every other Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on his Instagram account at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything action movie, guys, head over to Geeks and Flicks on Instagram. And of course, our official website at www.geeksandflicks.com. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.